such a moment as our tour bus drove into the hotel parking lot at the base of the massive natural fortress called Masada. Jutting straight up from the shore of the Dead Sea, these fortifications built by Herod the Great towered some 1,300 feet above us. It was already casting its dark and foreboding shadow over our group as the guide told us to get a good night's rest to prepare ourselves for the 7 a.m. climb up this ancient wonder the next day. I felt as if I were standing at the base of Mount Everest. What am I doing here? I wondered. How did this happen? I'm just a wife who came to the Holy Land with her husband to study the Bible. I never bargained for this. But now I was expected to climb up this steep mountain with the rest of the much younger group. And, my new friend, I want to quickly admit that I have all these same feelings again as you and I stand at the beginning of this book about being beautiful in God's eyes, looking up at her, the beautiful and successful and wonderful and perfect woman of Proverbs chapter 31. She certainly appears to be larger than life. She's up there, so far away, so far removed, so beautiful, so superior, so impossible, or so it seems. But wait, let me finish my story about Masada. I dutifully ate a healthy dinner and went to bed early, just as the guide had instructed. But I also worried all night long. Should I eat or not eat before such a strenuous climb? Should I wear jeans or hiking shorts? How much water should I carry? On and on my thoughts and fears turned. I definitely didn't get the prescribed good night's sleep. Finally, it was 6:30 in the morning. Time to act. I threw on my clothes, shorts because of the brutal heat, grabbed the largest water bottle, I skipped breakfast, opened the door of our room, walked to the footpath, and I climbed Masada. I didn't want to, but I did it. It wasn't easy, and I stopped for many rests. Many rests. My lungs hurt and my legs hurt. People passed me by as I struggled, but I made it. By tapping into the deepest resources of both my mental and physical strength, and by continuing to put one foot in front of the other, by taking one step after one step after one step, I finally arrived at the top of the world. I only discovered later that the top of the world was sea level. I had done what had seemed impossible, and that accomplishment was glorious. Now, dear fellow climber, you and I face the rather daunting Proverbs chapter 31 woman. Perhaps just as I struggled with a lack of desire to climb a mountain, you've struggled to even want to be like her. Maybe you've tossed and turned as you've counted the cost of such an endeavor, sensing that it will require much from you, and possibly you've suffered as other women have passed you by in their efforts to become more like her. Whatever you're feeling, whatever your past experiences with the challenge of Proverbs 31, I invite you to come along with me now. Let's hold hands if we need to, as accepting God's invitation to become beautiful in His eyes, we climb together. Along the way, we're going to tap into the grace of God's power and the Spirit-driven resolve to become all God wants us to be. And we're going to take one step at a time. After all, the Proverbs chapter 31 woman is the virtuous woman. Proverbs chapter 31, verse 10. And by mastering one virtue at a time, one verse at a time, you and I are going to fully grasp her rare beauty and, by God's grace, realize it for ourselves. An alphabet of character. But where, you might wonder, did this woman come from? How did the woman of Proverbs chapter 31 become a standard for godly beauty and behavior? Believe it or not, she began with a real flesh and blood woman. Proverbs chapter 31, verses 1 through 9 reads like a fairy tale. Once upon a time there was a young prince who would someday be king, but he had many lessons to learn before then. So his mother sat down with him beside the hearth at home and taught him not only how to be a godly king,